another episode of Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle from Mornings on 91X with Marty and Danielle. I've got a new partner. I hope you're listening. As always, I have my beer drinking partner in crime with me, Paul Segura from Karl Strauss.
Cheers.
Hey, and I'm super stoked. I've got AleSmith in today. We have Peter, owner of AleSmith, and we have Ryan, head brewer at AleSmith. Welcome, guys.
We got the big brass with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Good to have you guys.
This is very exciting. So, this week is my favorite event of the year, Collabapalooza.
Yeah.
How many breweries did you collab with this year?
Oh boy.
Karl Strauss.
Karl Strauss total, I think about
all of them.
8 or 9.
Woo! How many have you been on?
Like 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is a collaboration between Karl Strauss and AleSmith, the Blink of an IPA. This thing is so good, you guys.
We're psyched.
How did this come about? Tell me all about it.
30 years brewing for Karl Strauss, 24 for AleSmith, 54 years between us, and we've never collabed, I don't think. And it was about time, right? We finally just said, let's do it.
Way overdue.
Let's do this. And why not do it for Collabapalooza? You know, it's that time of the year where breweries collab with each other and come up with stuff I think we've always wanted to do but never had the opportunity to, or whatever it is. You know, I think. And actually, it wasn't me at Karl Strauss. It was more Matt Johnson and Ryan with this particular beer.
Came up with a killer unusual IPA.
Yeah, give me a little bit of behind the scenes on this. What is this?
So this is kind of a specialty IPA using Kveik yeast, which is a Norwegian farmhouse yeast. So it ferments really hot, usually too hot for any other beer, but it still gets a really nice kind of mellow, fruity character. Then we also use some cool experimental hops from Brew One, which is lots of pineapple notes, Simcoe, Equinaut, and then some others. So just a really fruit-forward, hoppy, like kind of different IPA.
It's great, and this will be at Collabapalooza on Saturday, right?
That's correct.
Yes, and so cans I see, and then in both tasting rooms. Yeah.
We've had them in ours.
We haven't had them in ours. We're only allowed to serve beer that is made
that's
on
right,
premise.
That's right.
So we have to go out and buy it, and I will.
Yeah.
Or you'll have it this Saturday at Collabapalooza.
Yeah,
See,
right.
just keep
That's
bringing it
right.
around. And that is kind of one of the things that I want to bring up about Collabapalooza. This is one of those events that these beers most likely are not going to be available again.
Any other time, usually.
This is it,
They're very
Collabapalooza.
rarely rebrewed by breweries, but sometimes you hit a home run and the host brewery or whatever, one of the breweries says, can I have permission to brew this again? We'll give you full credit or whatever. So if it does get brewed again, that's usually the protocol.
Otherwise, get it while it's hot.
Get
it while it's hot. Right.
That's a great era for collaborations. I really feel like we're pushing each other now to do very cool experimental stuff. And I think it's a real, like a renaissance for the collaborations, and you guys are showcasing them all. So,
I think, the cool thing about all San Diego breweries, I think, is there's a spirit of collaboration and not so much competition. We see each other as like brothers that are making
compatriots, not competitors.
Exactly, yeah, a better way to put it. And we're all just making different music, and we share successes and failures, and we rejoice in each other's successes. And speaking of which, these guys just won a medal at Great American Beer Festival.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank
That
you.
was very exciting.
Thank you. No, we're honored always and humbled. It's a crapshoot, as you say. You brew clean, you brew to style, you're in the running.
Well, you guys are there in the running year after year.
Well,
you guys
so
are
are
always
you.
coming home with something.
There's always a little luck there.
And
Carl's won a
pretty
major award
awesome.
as a mid-size of the year. We were small brewers of the year. We've all been there, done that. I know there's a lot of brewers that will work their entire life and won't have the medal counts of our 2 breweries.
Well, there were 18 medals brought home this year by San Diego brewers.
Yes.
So congrats to all the
Very
San Diego
good
brewers
job, San
out
Diego.
there.
As a matter of fact,
Great
every
job.
single one of those breweries has been on Beer for Breakfast at one point or another. I'm just saying. We know winners when we see
You
them.
have good taste.
Just to kind of cap off Collabapalooza, get those tickets because, they're moving pretty quickly, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so.
yeah, it sells out usually. This is the 3rd year running, and the last 2 years it's been voted the best beer event in San Diego
Right on.
by West Coaster, and we're really psyched about that. I think originally we were just like, let's provide an event or a forum where all San Diego brewers could get together and hang out and brew beer together and rejoice in the spirit of compatriotism.
It's an awesome idea.
Yeah, it's a
we're
great
honored to be a
time.
part of it.
If you haven't been to Collabapalooza, don't miss it this year. Get your tickets. You can find it on Facebook.com, on the Karl Strauss. There's an event page going on. Get those tickets because you're going to be really, really bummed out next week when we're talking about how great Collabapalooza was.
Just saying.
So kind of to transition a little bit more, AleSmith, your juice stand hazy IPA. You guys made a hazy.
We did, and I'm going to turn it over to Ryan here in a sec, but I just want to say that we're always going to brew beers that we personally enjoy drinking, so it's not chasing fads or anything like that. I was on the other side of the fence at first, and then I came around. I started really enjoying them. I love the subdued bitterness or even absent bitterness and the huge hop thing. We've released it a number of times, and the haziness has ranged from clear to nectar. We have it pretty much dialed in. Ryan does a great job, and it's going to be a hazy that I think is an attractive beer for anyone to give it a try, even if you've never had a hazy.
Yeah. So 6.5%. Just our take on kind of a juicy, hazy IPA. It's got Vic Secret, Australian hop. Nice. It's got Mosaic. So a lot of tropical fruit notes, grapefruit notes, pineapple. Just really easy drinking beer.
So even though we're not supposed to drink with our eyes, we talk about that all the time. We're totally not. I appreciate that this isn't just like that. I can still pretty much see through this.
Yeah.
That it's not just this like milkshakey, super thick. Because there are some of those hazies out there.
There's some yeast bombs out there. This one's
Yeah.
not.
It's not orange juice. It's not supposed to be,
Yeah.
So the haze gives it, a little bit of a mouthfeel, a little more of a hot presence, but not overwhelmingly. So you could have a few of them.
Did you have? Did it take a little time to come around to the hazies for you?
Not for me.
You were down with the haze right away, and you were kind of like.
Didn't take long.
Yeah.
There's some good examples in San Diego for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Karl Strauss.
Boat shoes, yeah.
Makes a great
Always
one.
in my fridge.
I latched on immediately to the fact that the aromas and the flavors are hop, not bitter. They're hoppy, and they're usually tropical and fruity and orangey. Love that. But didn't want all the yeast in my stomach, but
True.
and all that stuff. But I've come to embrace them too. It took me a little while. I'm like Peter.
As someone who works in a tasting room, I think that hazies are a great way to expose somebody who thinks that they don't like IPAs.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is the perfect lead, because I get that so many times. Someone comes into the tasting room like, oh, what do you like? Well, I don't know, I want a beer. Well, what are you into? Anything but IPAs. And then my next question is, have you had a hazy IPA? And from there, the conversation starts, and I think that that's really important also, is having the conversation as to why these are different.
Well, do you like orange juice? Do you like grapefruit juice? Well, here you go. Try this. And we're like, yeah, I get orange juice and grapefruit juice.
Right.
And then they're hooked.
It's usually the bitterness that's turning new drinkers off to them, I think.
That is a good
Perfect.
message, though. People, you need to keep trying craft beer. It changes. In the beginning, people come and say they didn't like beer. Because they were thinking of the frat party with the can with the cigarette butt in it.
Right, right.
And we had to tell them that, give it a try. They're like, wow, this is beer. We used to hear that a lot. And now, I hate IPAs, they're too bitter. Give it a try again.
And I do have to commend the tasting room staff at AleSmith. They are all just like
thank you.
super high standards, are able to explain the beer in very simple terms, or can really get in there if you want,
Yeah, we take them through the beers with Peter Cronin, and then Ryan makes these great sheets for everyone to learn, and it's a big part of their education.
Yeah, if you match people up with the beers that they're going to like, they're going to come back, and they're going to be stoked. I mean, it's just making new converts, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
To pivot just a little bit, not really, just a little bit, because I feel like I've been waiting for this since that first day that you came on the morning show at 91X with 394, and we were chatting. It was the first time we'd ever met, and then you start telling me about how you're into making cheeses, and that CheeseSmith will come out eventually, and
it's out.
Yeah, finally. It only took 17 years.
Oh gosh, this is so exciting. So, can you kind of take me through the walk through CheeseSmith and how this has been going?
So, when got with AleSmith, I lost my home brewing hobby. I'm a hobbyist by nature. We were giving our grain to farmers. They were bringing me raw milk, and I'm not too much of a milk drinker. Had a hobby missing. I started researching it, and it scratched the same itch. Very procedural, but the excitement of making cheese caught on in the early 2000s, and be careful what you wish for. I was talking about, maybe one day. Well, my wife sort of made it happen. She said, we're doing it this year, so the contractors
And you can buy this in
came
the tasting room, right?
Yeah, every Thursday. We're calling Thursday Curds Day. You can come in and buy Midwest-style curds.
Day.
But we will have other cheeses, pressed cheeses. I have a few hundred pounds aging right now.
Wow.
And as I get label approval, which, I like to find hobbies that have lots of regulations, They will be released periodically, but I am a one-man show. If you show up and there's no cheese, please accept my apologies. We will ramp up. Probably after the first year, I'll be hiring. And
Wow,
if you are
awesome.
a passionate cheese maker, come see me.
Can
And,
you
delicious.
just because I found this I love this. Can you tell me about the squeak? As Midwesterners are coming.
Squeak.
So
Can we actually eat some of this right now?
absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I want to see if there's a squeak.
Yeah. Well, these have a little bit of age, so they're after the third day.
These are the fancy
They
ones.
turn into more like a mozzarella cheddar combo, but if you get them in the first few days, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the tasting room, you will get what the Midwesters call a squeak. You bite through it, your teeth are actually breaking carbohydrate strands that haven't developed yet through the acidification, and you get this sensation of mouthfeel and the sound of a squeak. And I'm getting high praise from Midwesterners. I am a St. Paul boy. I know, I know what curds are supposed to be like. So we do have crushed red pepper ones and the original flavor in both white and yellow.
These are really
White
good.
and
So
orange,
good.
yeah.
Oh my God.
But I use it's raw organic milk. Ryan's been eating them for 15 years. I used to bring them in and actually helped me with a lot of the feedback. They tell me when it's
Oh my
not salty
gosh.
enough or too salty, or over the years, I think you called one of my cheeses soapy, and it all helped. You know, just like brewing, we need feedback to dial it in. So
Man, I'm
Thank
really
you.
impressed. I mean, just when I thought I couldn't get more impressed by your
Your skills, man.
skills, dude.
Jack of all
These are
trades.
really good.
hang on, we got more things coming. I'd like to get a
Curds Day
bakery.
Thursday.
Yeah. So I will be making curds on Wednesday, and they will be loading up on Thursday at 11 a.m. I make 55 pounds. They usually make it close to Saturday, and we'll ramp up. But it's
Will you be doing different like brie or?
yeah, eventually.
Camembert.
Year one is all pasteurized cheeses. I have it's Department of Agriculture rides me pretty hard and watches everything I'm doing and inspects, and I love it.
Yeah.
They actually say we're one of the cleanest clean rooms they've ever seen, and he attributes that to the brewing side. But yeah,
Not a huge surprise.
blue cheeses, washed rind. I do make cheeses with our beer. There's a Speedway Stout where I remove the whey and I add Speedway.
good one.
There's a
Yes.
Horny Devil. There's a Nut Brown.
Oh gosh.
Oh my
that's
So
God,
I'm just
good.
experimenting. I used meadow foam honey and red pepper and made a 3-layer cake of a 6-pound wheel. I have 20 pounds of that. So there's going to be a lot of experimentation.
That sounds
But,
so
So you
amazing.
gotta pop into their
Oh,
tasting
gosh.
room and
gosh.
try these, man.
Jeez.
Thank you, sir.
We're finishing things off with the RKS, the Raspberry Kettle Sour. I like how inventive you guys got with the name.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Especially because I had to ask. I was like, "What does RKS stand for?" Read the next
There are
line,
definitely
Danielle.
raspberries in this.
It is beautiful.
It is
It's a nice,
beautiful.
pretty
yeah.
color.
It looks like raspberry Kool-Aid.
It really does, doesn't it?
Ooh,
Hopefully it tastes a little better.
that
little
is-
tartness
tastes
coming
much
off the
better.
nose on this.
It's a sour for people that perhaps it'll please the sour heads, but I think it's also an attractive entry if you want
Yeah.
to just try sour.
So it tastes like part of the tartness is coming off the raspberries and part is coming from the kettle sour.
Yeah,
like 50-50
absolutely.
almost.
Yeah, we definitely get some from the kettle sour. The raspberries have that bite to them too, but not too much. There's still some sweetness, so it's refreshing. It's easy to drink, crisp.
You throw those
Delicious.
into primary fermentation?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
Super.
It's really good,
thirst
man.
quenching.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is
I
good.
could drink a lot of this.
Oh, same. Well, and I just like where the sour kind of hits you on the mouth. It's like kind of like middle back of the tongue, but doesn't get you back here
Right.
in the jaw. Like some of them are just like, ooh.
You know what I also like about chasing the cheese with this beer is it kind of
Yeah,
the
nice.
dryness
Yeah.
just kind of lifts the cheese off your tongue
From
and-
the fat
right,
of the cheese. Yep.
and then it contrasts it in a nice way
That
too.
might be a good pairing.
Yeah.
I think it would be a
Thank you. I'm
great
going to remember
pairing.
that.
Yeah.
Sour apple.
It's really nice.
Brought to you by Paul.
But I think everything goes with beer, so I mean,
Yeah.
that's me.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, this is fantastic. Beer, cheese, collaborations.
It's all happening.
AleSmith.
We love AleSmith. We love AleSmith.
Keep doing what you
here.
guys do, man. On behalf of all San Diegans or beer lovers everywhere, I mean, you guys are like an icon in the industry, man. Just
you
keep
as well.
plugging away.
No,
We love what you guys do.
Yeah, we love Carl, and personally, just Paul is one of our biggest supporters. I just got to give
love
you
you
a
guys,
personal
man.
cheers
I love
now,
you guys.
and we
No,
love
you
you.
guys keep making
Yeah.
great beer.
Cheers.
Cheers to AleSmith. You guys are
Cheers.
fantastic.
So,
I also want to throw it out there because, holidays and stuff are coming up. They have an amazing event space. Their mezzanine is gorgeous. Like everything that you guys have done to that tasting room, I could spend hours in there just
cool.
in awe of all of it. Between the Tony Gwynn baseball, between the speakeasy in the back, and then just hanging out in there. It's such a great space. You guys have done a really great
Thank
job
you.
with it.
It's a good thing.
Be selling beer for a while to pay for all that, but
Hey, it's good beer, and we appreciate it.
Yep.
Well, Peter, Ryan, thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you,
coming
Danielle.
to
Absolutely.
91X. We appreciate
always
it.
an honor to be
Yeah,
here.
thank you.
Yes,
Thanks for having us.
thank you.
Cheers.
Likewise,
Cheers.
Paul.
And
Bring it in.
there we go. Remember, every Friday morning, Paul comes on the morning show for Beer for Breakfast at 9:05. We will be drinking some AleSmith beers, and
Absolutely.
I hope that Marty can hang. Actually, he did pretty well. He did
pretty well the last one.
week.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll keep building it. We'll make it work.
That's right.
Thank you so much for watching Beer for Breakfast ABV, and cheers to independently owned craft beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.
For that.
91X.